All right, so into our reading on part 9, July 7th. I don't know where the week went. Today's Sunday. I know because I can see through my window people going to church. I think I stayed in bed all week, but I remember Mrs. Flynn bringing food to me a few times. I keep saying over and over, I've got to do something, but then I forget, or maybe it's just easier not to do what I say I'm going to do. I think of my mother and father a lot these days. I found a picture of them with me taken at a beach. My father has a big, with a big, I'm sorry, has a big ball under his arm, and my mother is holding me by the hand. I don't remember them the way they are in the picture. All I remember is my father drunk most of the time and arguing with mom about money. He never shaved much and he used to scratch my face when he hugged me. My mother said he died, but cousin Milty said he heard his mom and dad say that my father ran away with another woman. When I asked my mother, she slapped my face and said my father was dead. I don't think I ever found out which was true, but I don't care much. He said he was going to take me to see cows on a farm once, but he never did. He never kept his promises. July 10th. My landlady, Mrs. Flynn, is very worried about me. She says the way I lay around all day and don't do anything, I remember her, I remind her of her son before she threw him out of the house. She said she doesn't like loafers. If I'm sick, it's one thing, but if I'm a loafer, that's another thing, and she won't have it. I told her I think I'm sick. I try to read a little bit every day, mostly stories, but sometimes I have to read the same thing over and over again because I don't know what it means. And it's hard to write. I know I should look up all the words in the dictionary, but it's so hard and I'm so tired all the time. Then I got the idea that I would only use the easy words instead of the long, hard ones. That saves time. I put flowers on Algernon's grave about once a week. Mrs. Flynn thinks I'm crazy to put flowers on a mouse's grave, but I told her that Algernon was special. July 14th, it's Sunday again. I don't have anything to do to keep me busy now because my television set is broke and I don't have any money to get it fixed. I think I lost this month's check from the lab. I don't remember. I get awful headaches, and aspirin doesn't help me much. Mrs. Flynn knows I'm really sick, and she feels very sorry for me. She's a wonderful woman whenever someone is sick. Um, so it's become obvious that Charlie is sick. Like his landlady can physically see it. What do you think's happening inside of Charlie's body, his brain? What do you think's going on there? There's some clues to it. What do you think's changing about Charlie? We can see his writing's changing. Bruce, why do you think that his brain is getting smooth? What gives you that idea? No, I think it's changing. I think the it you're talking about, I think you're also talking about his brain. Is that a yes? Okay. I see you nodding there. Good. Good. I like this connection. I like all the connections you're making, Zach included. I think there's good signs that I shouldn't say good signs. I think there's strong signs that his brain is definitely deteriorating. And Bruce, I like the fact that you recalled the fact that Algernon um, had his brain smooth out. He's getting headaches. Medicine's not helping him. So it's clearly something is physically changing. And we do have evidence to think that his brain, the physical makeup of his brain is changing, which might seem very different. But yeah, I think very slowly we're seeing Nelly that he's coming back to his original state. Okay. July 22nd. Mrs. Flynn called a strange doctor to see me. Now, that doesn't mean like the doctor was unusual. He just didn't know him. She was afraid I was going to die. I told the doctor I wasn't too sick and that I only forget sometimes. He asked me, did I have any friends or relatives? And I said, no, I don't have any. I told him I had a friend called Algernon once, but he was a mouse and he used to run races together, and we used to run races together. He looked at me funny, like he thought I was crazy. He smiled when I told him I used to be a genius. He talked to me like I was a baby and he winked at Mrs. Flynn. I got mad and chased him out because he was making fun of me the way they all used to. Why would the doctor? Why would a doctor laugh and then wink at Mrs. Flynn and talk to Charlie as if he's a baby? Why is all of that going on? Okay. Nellie says that he thinks Charlie is crazy. I see a few of you more kind of leaning and typing in. Yeah, Zach, you're right. We're definitely starting to see the implications through other characters that his IQ, sorry, is much lower, and so his intellectual disability is back. Like we can clearly see that he's starting to struggle, just the way he did before, and other characters are showing us that it's a physical thing that they can actually see, and the way he interacts with them is definitely very different. Um, Sorry that I'm having to highlight the boxes here, but not only do I need to make corrections, but it's not showing the bottom half because of the streaming. But July 24th, I have no more money. And Mrs. Flynn, I got to go to work somewhere and pay the rent because I haven't paid for over 2 months. I don't know any work but the job I used to have at Donegan's Plastic Box Company. I don't want to go back there because they all knew me when I was smart and maybe they'll laugh at me. But I don't know what else to do to get money. July 25th. I was looking at some of my old progress reports and it's very funny, but I can't read what I wrote. I can make out some of the words, but they don't make sense. Miss Kitty came to the door, but I said, go away, and I don't want to see you. She cried, and I cried too, but I wouldn't let her in because I didn't want her to laugh at me. I told her I didn't like her anymore. I told her I didn't want to be smart anymore. That's not true. I still love her, and I still want to be smart, but I had to say that so she'd go away. She gave Mrs. Flynn money to pay the rent. I don't want that. I got to get a job. Please, please let me not forget how to read and write. All right. So you have two quick questions to answer. Um, they're just multiple choice. And then we'll get back to reading. Do you guys have any questions, or is it pretty clear what's going on with Charlie? Thumbs up if you think it's pretty clear. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the question box there now, and I'll answer it.